Shalom, shalom. Thank you for the truth coming at you with another lesson inspired by the Holy Spirit. B'chai Rakwadash. First off, I want to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, B'chashem Yahweh Shai, B'chashem Rakah Hakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and do real well. And salutations to all you Akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity, always in charity. Yeah, man. Came across this video while I was scrolling on my YouTube, right? I'm on the watch, and the spirit is heavy in these last days, man. It's a lot going on, and just like the Lord said, in them times, you gotta, watch and pray, okay? And so a lot of things going on in the earth right now, and like I said, the spirit is turning up, okay? And I don't usually just click on any and every video I see on my feed, but this video happened to catch my attention, and I only watched a few seconds of it, but the spirit was on me to just let's say hit the button, man. But immediately when I seen the title of the video, what came to mind was that that second Esdras. Yeah, evil's increasing in the earth. So you got to be as pilgrims in these last days, man. Okay? Because you see the Jake in the video, right? He not in the truth. But nevertheless, the Lord is putting that spirit out there, man. He's putting that spirit out there where people feel that something's about to happen, man. That 1 Peter 2:11 really on point too. But yeah, the Lord putting that spirit out there where people feeling it, man. Something wicked finna take place. Satan on this bullshit. Slack Yaki. Bear with me one moment. Yeah, so this is 2 Esdras chapter 16. And I'll start at verse 37. And it reads, Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. And that's where we're at in this story. Okay, that's the chapter that we're approaching, man. Immense birth pains, man. Just like when a woman's water breaks. Okay, up until that point, prior to, okay, throughout her pregnancy, okay, she experiences contractions, right? And the Lord is liking the duration of his prophecies to a woman in pregnancy, and in this instance, a woman's water when she is broken. Okay, but you have contractions, okay, and they ease, they come and they go, but we're approaching and look, we're in that time where, look, they're not gonna slack for a moment. That's why it's so intense right now. It's so intense. People can feel it. Okay, these data centers is popping up everywhere. Okay, you got World War III. kicking off, right? A whole lot of shit. People bugging out. More mass shootings taking place, right? Seeing these earthquakes in diverse places, all right? Europe over there on fire, yeah, having heat waves and shit melting down. So the Lord is, he like I've been saying, we're reaching a crescendo, and the Lord is turning up the volume and intensity and the spirit in these last days and in the prophecies. And we're seeing it, man. And you're gonna see that in the video that I'm showing you. But verse 39, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. And that's what we see taking place, man. That's why so much going on to where it's look, I'm up, it's 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock where I'm at, and it's kind of hard to, to not sleep through it, because it's like it's kind of hard to sleep through it because it's so much going on, man. And like Elder Apostle Tahar says, you know what, you miss a day, man, you missing a lot. Okay, you miss a day, man, you're missing a lot. Verse 40, he says, "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth." All right, we gonna get into this video.
True Media, what's going on with the family? Hope everybody doing well and feeling well. Hey, check this out, man. Hooking up with people is dangerous right now. Be careful who you hook up with. This ain't the time to be going out with certain people you don't know like that. People coming up missing. This ain't the day and age to just be spending the night at people's house.
And who's the main ones coming up missing, man? All right, so-called black women, primarily. Okay, you got Esau. With this human trafficking, right? Child trafficking rings and whatnot. So, but especially so-called black women, man. All right, I just seen some on my news feed where just in the city I'm at, 16-year-old, Jake, uh, Jake woman, right? She hey, walked out the house. Look, it's a lot of individuals coming on Facebook and social media, all that, asking where their daughters are going, where they've been. Have you seen my daughter? Have you seen her? Jake men too, but it's at the scale and the rate that it's happening in these last days, man. It's like, hey,
Going on dates with people. People is coming up missing. Be careful who you hook up with in this day and age, man. Because it's a lot of demonic shit going on out here. You got people hooking up with people and ain't making it back home. You got people sending their kids to go out for just an hour and ain't making it back home. Don't be letting your kids go everywhere right now. Don't be letting your kids, you feel what I'm talking about, just hang out with anybody and shit like that. And you yourself, don't be out here just hanging out with anybody, hooking up with anybody, sleeping up with anybody. This shit is dangerous. People is evil. They doing some of the most wicked shit. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm keep hearing so many stories about how people decide to just step out their house for a few hours and not returning home or not making it back to the house. This ain't the time to be trying to go to the club. You feel me? This ain't the time to be trying to be all out in the public.
And they're not gonna listen. All right, our people not gonna listen. The scriptures speak about as in the days of Noah. Let's grab that. You know, and that's one thing they say about clubs, man. You know, that's the church of Satan. That's Satan's church right there, man. You know, as in the days of Noah. But all that's gonna come to a screeching halt. Yeah, this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 36. It says, "But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that there Slakia, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage." And pretty much that's the vibration that's throughout the earth right now. That's why, you know, you see people carrying on with their lives, even though they understand that, you know, things is changing, okay? You know, things is constantly shifting, yet they're still, you know, you know, carrying on in their vices, okay? Trying to numb and escape, you know, and that's ultimately what that, you know, all these houses of mirth, right? These clubs and all this partying and shit, that's ultimately what they're trying to do. They're trying to find a form, you see it as a form of escape, okay? But there's no escaping it. We just read about how it's going to come upon every side, these plagues, man, and they're feeling it. And, you know, the Lord's been pushing out judgment, okay, throughout the earth, to where it's nothing, nowhere is safe anymore, man. You can't even go to a fucking bar anymore without, you know, having to look over your shoulder because the motherfucker might, you know, be a mass shooting. I was just watching one video where, nigga, they was just having a fair or whatever, and and one dude, he was, you know, recording. You know, he had a booth set up or whatever. It was like a little food. He was, you know, serving food or whatever, and it was a you know, dudes started shooting at each other, okay, and everybody got down on the ground, and you feel me? Look, this is the thing though, they didn't know what the fuck to do. Everybody did. Here it is. It's gunshots ringing out in this fair, and everybody just start getting down on the ground. Motherfuckers run away, not knowing what the fuck to do. There's all this commotion, but at the same time, it's like these Babylonians are not ready for what the fuck is about to take place in this earth, man. You're not ready. You're not ready. But it says, "For as in the days of Noah that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." Okay? So, you know, people are going to carry on, right? They're going to continue doing it, and wickedness is going to increase, okay? Evils shall increase. Let me get that real quick. Wickedness. It's just to speak about how wickedness shall increase above that which ye now see. This is what I'm looking for. Yeah, this is Second Ezra chapter 14. I'll start at verse 14. And it says, let go from the mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. And that's ultimately, with this Jake, you know, inadvertently, he not even realizing, but that's ultimately what he's, the spirit that he's coming into, where, we got to put off this weak nature, man. We can't be caught up in the, in the tide and in the, the hustle and flow, so to speak, the rustle and bustle of this weak ass world that we living in right now, man. All right, because this shit is hastening fast to pass away, like it says in that Second Peter, the 3rd chapter. It says, seeing that now all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought we to be in all godly conversation, all holy conversation and righteousness, right? Okay. Verse 15, it says, set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times, man. That's the vibration of this lesson, man. That's the vibration that Jake is in right now. Hasten to flee from these times, man, because this evil is increasing. What it says, verse 16, it says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age. So much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. And look, this was spoken roughly 2,000 years ago. 2,000 odd years ago, man. So how much the more have evils increased, and we're gonna see them only further increasing, man.
All night and shit like that, man. Stay your ass home. Stay your ass home, dog. This is the time to handle your business, do what you gotta do, and get your ass back to the house.
Can you guess what it is? It's the Book of Mormon. Tap the link for a free copy, and missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will hand deliver it to you, just like they did for me. I hope it can help you find some answers.
And get your ass back to the house. You feel me? Relationships is not what it used to be. It's some weird shit going on right now with relationships and people catfishing other people. People got people showing up to dates, getting them robbed. People got people showing up to, locations, and they coming up missing and their bodies getting found. You got women out here getting found and shit unalive, hooking up with man. You got men.
We just read why. Evils is increasing upon the earth, man. And it's only going to increase further and further.
Men out here getting found drugged and set up and robbed, hooking up with women. Man, you better be careful who you hook up with in this day and age. This shit is not no game. This is not 20 years ago, not even 15 years ago. There's some shit out here right now where people is literally on some evil shit. You feel what I'm talking about?
We're gonna look at this word evil real quick. Evil. It goes back to bad, vicious, ill, wicked. All right. And that word wicked, when you go into that word wicked, it go back to Wicca, which, which a lot of these people, they operate under the spirit of Esau's witchcraft, man. That's why there's so much evil taking place throughout the earth. The scriptures talk about in Sirach, the 10th chapter, how as the manner of the king, so is the manner of the people, man. And look who's in rulership. A fucking wicked, man. Bad evil. But yeah, man, so as the world is under the vibration of the earth is under the vibration of Esau's rulership, man. The scriptures speak about that in Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? So that's why things are the way they are. And people are starting to really keenly comprehend that, more or less. Because only people that truly really keenly comprehend what's going on in these last days is the prophets, man.
If you, or someone you know, have a teenager who is on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or Snapchat, this is the money glitch that could get families potentially compensated right.
And shit like that too. You feel me? Shit like that too. You know that ad that just popped up, man. Okay, you got a lot of weirdos. Okay, you feel me? Exploiting. And that's how a lot of these children is coming up missing and unalive. Because of this witchcraft taking place through, on these the behind these cell phones and these computers, man. All right, this shit is all fucked up.
It's literally on some evil shit. You feel what I'm talking about? They on some evil shit, though.
I seen one post. Where pretty much it was a weird Elamite looking nigga. He had it to where he was able to pretty much be on a screen while the little girl, right, she thinking she watching a YouTube video, right? She must have been, pretty much, she had it to where, like, you on YouTube, the title of the video is like, like it was a kids cartoon, kids channel, but it was a freaky, wicked looking Elamite dude behind the camera checking her out.
And it'd be just surprising for you to just decide to step out for the night and end up getting your life took because of you just decided to step out for an hour just to go to the club with your homegirls or just to hook up with somebody you seen on a dating app. Just to hook up with somebody you knew at your job, one of your co-workers. Man, this is not the time to just be hooking up with any and everybody. Stay your ass away from them co-workers. Yeah, I know they making it seem like they interested in you and they like you and they want you to be a part of their circle. Stay away from them right now. It ain't cool to be in everybody's face right now. Straight up, it ain't cool to have your kids in everybody's face right now. You feel what I'm talking?
And once again, it ain't gonna change nothing. They're gonna continue doing what they doing. Because as in the days of Noah, they're gonna continue eating and drinking and making stupid ass decisions, and then you're gonna see a lot, especially so-called black women. They just gonna look, man. They just gonna keep getting unalived and popping up missing. They really don't understand what the fuck is going on. And right now, this right, we under Esau's vibration, man. He's done lifted the woman up on a pedestal to think that she can just be outside, okay, hopping on couple cars and shit, twerking and shit. This is the vibration of the. This is what the earth looks like being ruled by the devil, man. Hot girl summers and shit.
About people is coming up missing, straight up, and it might be your last time trying to hook up with somebody on a late notice or trying to hook up with one of your co-workers or trying to step out when you know something told you to keep your ass at home. It might be your last time. Something end up either happening to you or somebody you love because you're not listening to your intuition. Man, you got to listen to that gut feeling. When something tell you, don't go out tonight, don't hook up with them.
And that's what, the vibration that's going out right now. It's a gut feeling that something's finna pop off, man. Something's about to pop off, man. people is feeling it, man. So we're gonna go back to that second Esdras. I want to read it one more time, and I'm gonna close this video out. Like I said, I ain't watch it. But as the spirit was on me, I just, back in this second Esdras. Matter of fact, let me get this in Hebrews. This is 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 11. Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lust, which war against the souls. Okay? So, pretty much, Paul is Peter's pretty much admonishing us, man, strongly admonishing us to be as strangers and pilgrims, man, to abstain from fleshly lust, man, which war against the soul, man, not being caught up in this flesh that we in these last days, man, seeing that, times wickedness is increasing, okay? Like I said, these prophecies are speeding up and increasing to more and more intensity. That's even more of a reason for us to get our house in order. Like it said, like we read about, because he told him to get his house in order. Man, this second Esdras is 16th chapter, man, and this is where we at too, man. There's so much going on. I'll read that verse 40 again. Second Esdras chapter 16, verse 40. Oh, my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, right? And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth, man. So spiritually, man, we gotta, really, hey, man, we finna be moving from one location to another, man. We're not gonna be at rest. It's gonna be, Psalms 91 gonna come to effect, full force. 1,000 gonna fall at thy right hand, and 1,000 at thy left, but it shall not come unto thee, near unto thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Okay, this is the times that we entering into. So we gotta be spiritually, armored up, man. You entering into some wicked ass times, man. This shit finna get wicked out here, man. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose, man. So we gotta be completely detached, man. Completely detached, man. He that occupieth merchandise as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap it. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain. You see? So a lot of these people, man, they're still putting their trust in leaning upon Egypt. Especially, I'm talking about our people. Okay, you 2/3, man, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you Israelites, man, you sons and daughters of Jacob. They're continuing to lean upon this broken reed, this broken staff of Egypt, which if a man shall lean upon, it's gonna pierce his hand. Okay, and they're laboring in vain, man. And as we're seeing things ramp up over there in the Middle East, okay, you seeing how they asking for more and more money to send over there to them small hats to fund this war machine. Where's that money coming from? That's a burden that's being laid upon the taxpayer, upon the citizens. And they feeling that shit. And we in that second Esdras 15 where it's gonna be a sedition among men, man. You go into that word sedition. Let me grab that real quick. And this is second Esdras chapter 15, verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that's what we see taking place, man. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So it's about to be all-out anarchy in the streets, man. When it talks about their kings and their princes, they're not going to regard their kings and their princes. They're talking about the rulers, the politicians. There should be sedition among men. The word sedition means treasonous speech, roughly paraphrasing. Civil discord. The word sedition comes from the Latin seditio, meaning a going apart, or civil discord. It combines said, apart, without, and issue, meaning an act of going. So yeah, man. So pretty much, seditious speech. Rebellion. Okay, see that? Sedition, rebellion, uprising, revolt, factitious, commotion in the state, a concerted attempt to overthrow civil authority. Okay, and we seeing that spirit going throughout the earth, man, especially after this military merger. Okay, a lot of these Americans are waking up. A lot of these Egyptians, right, are waking up to the fact that the small hats have hijacked the government, man, which has always been the case, man. But now they're starting to wake up to it. Okay, and it's getting to that point to where, hey, man, picking up arms, man. Okay, you seeing motherfuckers, you seeing the pitchforks starting to come out, man. The pitchforks and the torches starting to come out. Okay, so yeah, man, we in them times, man. We're in them times, man. On my screen, keep doing this. Slovakia. Seeing Egyptian against Egyptian. Yeah. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, man. That's where you get anarchy from. That word anarchy goes into without government. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1, it says, the burden of Egypt. Behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Talking about him coming in on them chariots, man. You've seen that in that movie Independence Day. How he cracked the clouds and shall come into Egypt. Talking about over here in America, man. Revelations 11 chapter talks about spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt, man. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it, man. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay, and that's what we're seeing right now. Civil discord, right? Being riled up, Egyptian against Egyptian, man. So-called race wars brewing, class wars, civil war. It's gonna be all kinds of wars and woes, man. Like we just read, man. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, man. And over here in America, it's gonna be a hotbed. It's gonna be purges. It's gonna be a lot of shit going on. Verse 3. And And the spirit of Egypt shall fill in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give up into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushua of hosts. Okay? Yeah, man. So that cruel Lord is speaking about Nero Trump. 4-7 himself, Mr. 4-7 himself. Alright, so yeah, that's all I'm gonna make on that. I don't want to make this lesson too long. Like I said, it was on my spirit to do it. And yeah, bro, you few sisters is listening and learning. We in them times, man. We in them times. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the elect. You know what I'm saying? The body Yahweh Shem Yahshua put this lesson on my spirit. Until next time, shalom, shalom.